ever felt like you don't belong, you're not experienced enough, you're not skilled enough, or that you're not good enough, then you might well have imposter syndrome. So what is imposter syndrome? So imposter syndrome is described by the definition as being a feeling of inadequacy despite evidence of success. And for me personally, there's been a few times in my life where I've felt imposter syndrome creep up. In particular, it's been when I'm trying to network, when I'm doing an application, when I'm interviewing. There's been quite a few aspects of, finding a career, of being on the job hunt, that I have suddenly had quite a bit of trouble with imposter syndrome. Oftentimes I actually do know that I have the knowledge, I have the skills, I have the capabilities, but that doesn't stop that little voice popping up and saying you can't do this. There are many reasons as to why you can develop imposter syndrome, and quite often it is because we're from a particular background or circumstance which is not common in the area or the room or the place that we're trying to get into. People like Olivia Colman, Lady Gaga, Michelle Obama, Tom Hanks, all incredibly successful people in their respective areas, have all suffered with imposter syndrome. This goes to show that just because that little voice is telling you something doesn't mean that it's actually true. Oftentimes people who also have imposter syndrome also suffer with perfectionism and the fear of failure. But if we look at it differently, this voice is actually just trying to protect you, because the reason that this imposter syndrome is kind of popping up is because you're in a new situation, you're having a new experience which is kind of foreign to you, and so that voice is trying to protect you in a way, because obviously you're feeling a little bit of anxiety or nervousness about this new situation. Some of the signs of imposter syndrome include self-doubt, overworking, attributing some of your successes to external factors such as luck and not actually the fact that you've worked really hard and that you have the skills, difficulty accepting praise, and fear of failure. So if this sounds like you, don't beat yourself up, because it's so common for people to actually suffer with some of these signs and to have imposter syndrome. We are not machines. We are humans. We have insecurities, we have histories, but that doesn't mean that that should hold us back, and that doesn't mean that we can't fight back against imposter syndrome. So how can you overcome imposter syndrome? So firstly, you need to acknowledge your feelings. You don't want to bat off and close yourself to this voice. Yes, you might want to at the beginning, and you might see it as something that short term is helpful, but without addressing these feelings, this popping up voice, this voice that just won't stop, then you need to actually delve into why it is that you're feeling this way. Challenge your negative self-talk. Try and understand why it is that you feel that you're talking to yourself this way. Would you talk to a close friend or a loved one in the same way that you're talking to yourself? Probably not. So why are you doing it to yourself? Focus on the facts and the evidence of your accomplishments. Look at your CV. Look at all the skills and accomplishments that you have. Look at your experiences. Take a deep dive into your history within your career or academics, and think about all those times that you've had big successes. And that's another thing, to just celebrate your successes. There will be so many times when you have had even just small to big successes. So each time that you have those, try and note them down. And this is why journaling is really good and can help you here. It's because you can have a flick through and see when you have those successes and kind of give yourself that praise and celebrate what you've done and how far you've actually come. And lastly, share your feelings with close friends, loved ones, family members, because more often than not, like I said, someone who you will know closely, that might be a colleague, that might be a friend, will have also gone through imposter syndrome, because it is so so common to feel this way and to have that self-doubt and fear of failure. It is so kind of intrinsically human that a lot of us have had these feelings. You will likely find that once speaking to this person who you trust, you will feel a lot better because you will understand that you are not on your own. Thank you so much for watching this video. Imposter syndrome is something that is so common, and I think in today's society it's possibly even more common because we're constantly seeing what other people are doing all the time, and we didn't used to be able to do that, but now we are with, again, social media, LinkedIn. So don't beat yourself up if you're feeling this way, and try some of these ways to try and change the way that you're feeling, and make sure that you are reaching out to someone and speaking to someone about the way that you feel. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this was helpful for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!